Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have some serious business to discuss. Punisher is not joking today. Ain't joking either. Uh, I. Wow. Last night. That was something else. We're going to cover that in detail. But first, let me just say this. Happy Hump Day. I'm glad that everybody could make it. And I hope that everybody enjoyed the short video the other day and the wonderful Sunday podcast. We are now, 55 days out from the election. Last night's debate, hosted by ABC, was a disaster. There were some good points, but for the most part, it was a disaster. Before we get into that too much, what better time to consider investing in gold? As you know, the Punisher is sponsored by the National Gold Group. So let's talk about that, and then we'll be right back to give the full rundown. Bad news, Bank of America clients have sold $7 billion in stock. That's the largest amount since 2020. The first cut is always going to be the deepest, and rate cuts should scare you. But JP Morgan and Citigroup have said there will be 2 supersized cuts this year. So what better time to invest in gold and precious metals? Call America's own precious metals company, the National Gold Group. And if you mention the Punisher's channel, you'll always get best-in-class service from America's conservative precious metals leader. The National Gold Group has the IRA fee waiver program. That means they will pay the fees on your IRA for life on qualifying rollovers. So call 888-598-9909 for a free investor's guide today. The National Gold Group is Consumer Affairs' top-rated gold IRA dealer. So call 888-598-9909. That's 888-598-9909. Welcome back. Right out of the chute, ABC, the 2 moderators. I didn't even bother to remember their names. But this was most definitely ABC, Vice President Harris against President Trump. First question out of the chute was on the economy. Now, we know full well the economy was doing much better under Trump, but boy, did Vice President Kamala have her answers. Very scripted, very rehearsed. I would guess that she probably had the questions, although the subjects, you have to expect that these subjects were going to be covered, so I won't outright accuse them of giving her the questions, but really, she definitely rehearsed. Okay. Now, she said a whole lot of nothing, but the thing is all of those word salads we were expecting, zero. There wasn't a single word salad last night. It makes you wonder, holy cow. So, now that's not saying that the answers were filled with all sorts of wonderful information. What she did was she spread the same lies. Now, she talked about her 6% tax cut she was going to give. She talked about a $50,000 tax cut startup fee for small businesses. She accused President Trump of raising taxes. Of giving tax cuts only to millionaires and billionaires, which we all know is a big lie. I hate when they do that. We know full well that everybody got the tax cut under Trump. It's such a ridiculous lie when they say it out of perspective. Naturally, the more you make, the more any tax cut is going to make for you. It goes to reason. If you make $100,000, a 5% tax cut isn't going to be as much for you as somebody who makes $1 million. It's so stupid. Any tax cut across America is going to yield more benefit to those who are rich. So, the only way you can do that is simply not give them a tax cut. But they do pay the majority of taxes for this here, these United States. So it's really crazy. And then they went on about tariffs and tried to call that a tax, when Trump is saying, no, those taxes are incurred by China. So he presented his case. Again, it was unexpected But no real headway following that question. Then Harris said that she received a complete disaster following Trump's presidency, and this kills me again. Once again, they take the whole pandemic and they use it against him when anybody would have suffered the same. The point is he left them with a 1.4% inflation. They drove it up to 9, and now it's still down just under 4. The prices of goods are nearly double in many cases. So it's a lie, continues to lie, and ABC does not fact check her. They would fact check Trump on every response he gave, and they wouldn't fact check her on anything. They talked about fracking, and she says, I have always been let me be very clear, I have been supportive of fracking since 2020. I've always said it. And no, they didn't come back and say, well, we have you on video saying that you would ban fracking. And you compare her values to what she says. Well, if your values haven't changed, that means you continue to desire to ban fracking. It is nonsense. It's a lie. They did not fact check her. Trump did make it clear that the jobs that were lost during the pandemic were simply, for her and the administration, were simply bounce back jobs. We know what that means. All it means is people got their jobs back, and there was still a lot lost. They went into abortion. More lies. She didn't answer the question about where does she draw the line. Where does she draw the line? She wouldn't answer. She beat around the bush. I'll get back to that. And then she never answered. But this thing about abortions all the way up to the moment of birth practically, and yes, there are members of the Democrat Party that do support that. So she lied about that. She said he would ban abortion. He did not. He sent it to the states. The states own it. So complete nonsense. They tried to say that once again, what if somebody gets raped, incest or something like that? He has said, much like Ronald Reagan, rape, incest, life of the mother. It's been a very common thing for a good portion of the Republican Party for many, many years. Anyway, crazy. So what do we got? Then Vice President Harris said that he was against this IVF when he's actually been a supporter. Now, how do you come out and just say that with no fact checking? They should have asked her, please tell us, where did you see President Trump come out and say he was against IVF? He is not. He is a strong supporter of it. Immigration. Now, President Trump threw in immigration practically in every answer. But he beat her down on immigration. She tried to say that she prosecuted so many, criminals when she was a district attorney and all that mess. Nonsense. She didn't answer questions about her soft on crime, her wanting to get rid of ICE, defunding police. She just ignored that and talked about other things. She is willing to fund, and is on video stating she is willing to fund transgender operations for illegal immigrants while in jail. While in jail. So, multiple strikes there. They're illegals. They're not even citizens. They're in prison. And you want to use taxpayer dollars to do that. Who in their right mind could possibly support that? Like I say, they already get treated better than our own citizens as illegals. So, all in all, there was certainly no clear winner on this. That's a fact. And it wasn't particularly a good night because ABC, those two moderators, definitely were teamed up with Harris to go after Trump, fact-checking him, not fact-checking her. Complete lunacy, and they are really enjoying it today. So that's what the news is going to be for the next for the remainder of the weeks heading up to the election. I guarantee they're going to be going on about that debate. They will probably not sign up for another debate. They say they want one, but they will not accept one on Fox. They should. He's accepted one on CNN and ABC. Uh, so she won't do it because she knows she'll get pressed on the questions. So the RCP betting odds, I am very disappointed in. Yesterday, prior to this debate, President Trump was up almost 5 points. This morning, he is down over 4. That is a 9-point shift following this debate. So we've got some ground to make up, but let's be optimistic because the Punisher is always optimistic. So we got 55 days until the election. We got to make up ground. We got to get the word out. And remember, get that, prepare to vote, but get those absentee ballots or mail-in ballots and all that stuff if you need it. And be prepared to get up early on November 5th and get out there and vote. Oh, here's an interesting story up in Philadelphia. There's some cookie salesman who said that he makes cookies that are both Trump and Harris, and the sales of the Trump cookies are phenomenal. By comparison, he sold almost 4,000 Trump cookies to Harris's 380 something. So that actually says something. And if it's in the city, the big city is where the concern is. So if we're seeing those kind of numbers for cookies in the big city, that could be a telling factor that those polls are wrong. So I will look at the Nate Silver odds later today to see how this has impacted them. And as usual, the Punisher will keep you informed. So you know it, I know it, the American people know it, we all know that Operation Sleestack, if you were watching the other night, did move to a 6.5. It will remain at 6.5. However, T24, Operation T24 Steadfast 6.0 is imperative, and we will do a moderate shift to 7.0 immediately. And Screw James Whitey Bulger will talk to you later. Bye.